Old Mutual CEO Peter Moyo is considering bringing the sheriff of the court to force the company to reinstate him. Moyo was refused entry into his office yet again today. This is despite the High Court ordering his temporary reinstatement. Moyo was fired for alleged conflict of interest.
Interesting that Old Mutual seems to talk through only their lawyers, but it's also important to understand that even on that letter where they say they rely on their lawyers, at the end of the day, directors are responsible for their actions. Lawyers can just give you advice. Directors must actually deal with that because they're the people that have got the fiduciary responsibility. Advice is only that. But ultimately, the people that must actually take action are actually the directors. You can't keep on hiding behind legal advice, particularly if it might appear that it is flawed. We actually saw the first time around, they actually said it was clearly an interim court order. They said it was final. Judge Bashile made it clear that it was final. It was interim. And I don't even know on what basis the court could have said that when the order was actually very clear.
Contempt is a very, very serious issue. We're not taking it lightly. We are surprised that Old Mutual, despite the clear judgment on Monday, which says that the directors of Old Mutual are joined in the court proceedings, and the reason that the judge gave for joining the directors in the court proceedings is because he says there's a real possibility of imprisonment. And if that happens, you cannot imprison a company. You can only imprison human beings. That's why the directors are joined in the proceedings, so that they'll have to explain in the next 9 days why they continue to take the decision of preventing Mr. Moyo from taking over his position as a CEO.
Well, as the Old Mutual and Peter Moyo standoff intensifies, Twitter reacted as expected. Let's take a look at what some of you out there had to say about this. People was saying Trevor Manuel and his board in Old Mutual are continuing to disrespect the rule of law in Peter Moyo's saga. Isn't about time that we move our policies to a company that respects the rights of its workers? And we've got enemy agents saying, my concern is, should this Old Mutual versus Peter Moyo saga end up in the North Gauteng High Court, he will lose irrespective of the merits of the case, even if he is right. Then we've got Sekopoche, who says Peter Moyo must move on with his life and accept Golden Handshake, which he rejected. He can't force himself on Old Mutual. Old Mutual is deliberately blocking and frustrating his return to resume his duties as per court ruling because they don't want him. And then Let's Build SA Together, saying the entire Old Mutual board have no respect for the rule of law. This Peter Moyo drama is reckless and unnecessary. And then we've got Nkalisi, who says the story of Peter Moyo makes it clear that court rulings are useless to the powerful and rich. Our constitution favors those with power in every scenario. The intention of Old Mutual is to frustrate Moyo till he gives up so much for a constitutional democracy.